Okay, so we're now back onto the skull. You know, one of the other reasons why it's good to work on your piece a little bit and then step away from it, work on something else, and then come back is when you come right back to it, you immediately notice things that are either issues or things that you're not happy with. The first thing I see is that I have some pretty hard striations in some of the geometry. And although it's not critical, I can certainly smooth these out. It is something I do want to um, take into consideration and see if I need to do any more adjusting. Now I am at a level 6 and I'm currently only 55,000 polygons, so I have a lot of room. Right now what I want to do is just focus on cleaning this one up. So I am going to increase my division level to the next step, and before I do that I'm just going to save one more time. It's a good idea. Actually, this is the skull. I'll save the skull at a level number 2 and say save. Okay. What I want to do now is to start uh, doing my final pass. So my final pass is going to involve a number of things. I'm going to polish so that I have chiseled edges like we did with the bone. All right, just to refresh your memory, here's the bone. So we have these nice hard chiseled edges. I'm going to add some cracks in certain areas of the skull, so physical cracks in the bone. And I also want to tighten up some of the edges. I want to hit some of the edges with the Mech A cut so that it has a nice clean, almost like razor edge in some areas. So I'm just going to jump right in and start doing that now. I'll go over to my trim dynamic and I'll start hitting these areas. Now when I do this, it's important that you kind of build up slowly. Don't try to hit all of your polish with one pass because it's just too much and you could take away too much personality to the model. Also try not to stay too much in the same image plane. So if I'm polishing on one plane on the whole thing, that's just going to become a big flat area. I want to make sure that I'm always achieving some level of chiseled chiseledness. We'll use that as that's our new term. So I'm going to start hitting this with all the chiseledness, and what I will do is cut right back after I have the polish done, and so you can actually see what the results are before I move on to the next stage. Okay, now I have all of the chisel work completed on the skull. It took approximately 10-15 minutes to do that. It's not completely finished. What I do like, however, is because I had the clay tubes earlier and it was very kind of roughed in, when you hit the polish, you don't always get a smooth finish. You get these little pitted marks, and that just happens naturally because some areas are deeper, and so the polish, you have to really work the polish hard to get in there. But if you don't, it's almost like you got the pittedness for free. So it's just a great result. And what I'm going to do now is just a little bit of a last minute cleanup just in some areas. And then I also want to just adjust some of the anatomy a little bit. So I'm going to go to my move tool, move brush, and just thicken those areas a little bit. Because we are dealing with a technique or style that is very chunky, or what I sometimes call wonky, it's important not to lose that. If you get too thin, then your work will start to look realistic and you're going to lose that appeal. So just hit that all the way around. You can already see a nice big difference to it. Really brings the thickness of the bone out now in the skull. Okay, now I'm happy. Perfect. I could use some more definition here in the upper lip, but we're going to be adding teeth, and so I'll probably wait until I have the teeth to do that. However, I do want to make just a couple of indentations to give this a bit of a uniqueness where the teeth are going. And now we're ready to begin adding the teeth in our next lesson.